From the moment our ancestors first sharpened a stone, humanity's survival depended on one thing: the ability to kill more efficiently than the enemy. You're about to witness 2 million years of deadly innovation compressed into minutes. Every breakthrough that redefined combat, every invention that toppled empires, every weapon that rewrote the rules of war. We've reconstructed these instruments of death using advanced AI technology to show you exactly how they dominated their era. 2 million years ago, in the volcanic plains of East Africa, Homo habilis discovers something revolutionary. By striking one stone against another at precise angles, they create the first intentional weapon, the hand axe. Sharp enough to butcher a carcass, heavy enough to crush a skull. This single innovation spreads across 3 continents over the next 1 million years. The hand axe remains humanity's longest-serving weapon, unchanged for over 1 million years. Around 400,000 BCE, Homo heidelbergensis invents the wooden spear. For the first time, humans can kill from a distance. A hunter can now take down a mammoth without getting trampled. A warrior can strike before his enemy reaches him. The spear fundamentally changes human society, allowing coordinated hunts and organized warfare. The discovery of fire around 300,000 BCE transforms weapon-making forever. Heat-hardened wooden spears become 4 times more durable. Fire-sharpened stakes can pierce thick animal hide. This fire-hardening technique will be used for the next 290,000 years, right up until the Bronze Age. Around 70,000 BCE, Homo sapiens in South Africa developed the atlatl, or spear thrower. This deceptively simple tool uses leverage to triple throwing distance and double impact force. A spear that once traveled 30 meters can now strike at 100 meters. The atlatl spreads across every inhabited continent, becoming the dominant hunting weapon for 60,000 years. Between 50,000 and 40,000 BCE, someone invents the most important weapon in human history, the bow and arrow. The advantage is overwhelming. An archer can carry 20 arrows versus 3 spears. Range increases to 200 meters. Rate of fire jumps from 1 throw per minute to 6 arrows per minute. The bow doesn't just change hunting, it revolutionizes warfare. Armies can now rain death from a distance. Fortifications become necessary for the first time. The bow will remain the world's deadliest ranged weapon for the next 42,000 years. Around 30,000 BCE, humans begin experimenting with composite weapons. Stone tips are hafted onto wooden shafts using tree resin and animal sinew. Stone axes appear, far deadlier than their wooden predecessors. A stone axe can split a human skull with a single blow. Archaeological evidence from this period shows a dramatic increase in traumatic head injuries, suggesting warfare is becoming more common and more lethal. By 10,000 BCE, the last ice age ends. The microliths, tiny razor-sharp stone blades, are invented. These can be embedded into wooden clubs to create the first true swords, or mounted in rows to create serrated arrows that cause catastrophic wounds. Skeletal remains from this era show evidence of organized massacres. Around 8,000 BCE, agriculture begins in the Fertile Crescent, and warfare becomes systematic. The first fortified settlements appear at Jericho, surrounded by massive stone walls. These aren't defenses against animals. They're defenses against other humans. The invention of the mace becomes necessary to crack open skulls, protected by early leather helmets. War is no longer just raiding, it's conquest. The invention of copper smelting around 5,000 BCE marks humanity's entry into the Metal Age. Early copper axes and daggers can hold an edge far longer than stone. For the first time, weapons become valuable possessions passed down through generations. Around 3,300 BCE, someone in Anatolia discovers that mixing copper with tin creates bronze, a metal harder than either component alone. Bronze swords appear in Mesopotamia by 3000 BCE, fundamentally transforming warfare. A bronze sword can be 2 feet long, impossible with brittle stone. Armies equipped with bronze weapons conquer those still using stone. But bronze has a fatal weakness. It requires tin. which is incredibly rare. Around 1200 BCE, iron emerges. The Hittites in Anatolia master bloomery furnaces, capable of reaching 1200 degrees Celsius. Iron is everywhere, unlike rare copper and tin. Suddenly, entire armies can be equipped with metal weapons, not just elites. When the Hittite civilization collapses, ironworking spreads across 3 continents. The Bronze Age civilizations fall like dominoes. By 1000 BCE, iron swords have evolved into specialized forms. The Greeks developed the xiphos, perfect for phalanx formation. The Celts create long slashing swords for cavalry charges. But the real revolution happens around 800 BCE when someone discovers that repeatedly heating and folding iron creates steel. A steel blade holds a sharper edge and flexes without breaking. The legendary Damascus steel blades become so valuable that a single sword costs as much as a warhorse. The introduction of the sarissa around 350 BCE by Philip II of Macedon revolutionizes infantry combat. This pike, measuring 18 feet long, allows Macedonian phalanxes to strike enemies before they can get close. Philip's son, Alexander the Great, uses sarissa-armed infantry to conquer from Greece to India between 334 and 323 BCE. Rome's rise to power depends on the gladius. This short stabbing sword perfectly complements Roman shield and formation tactics. Between 200 BCE and 100 CE, the gladius and its wielders conquer the entire Mediterranean world. But Rome's greatest innovation is the Scorpio, a torsion-powered bolt thrower. These early artillery pieces can fire a 3-foot iron bolt through multiple soldiers at 300 meters. In China, around 200 BCE, the crossbow reaches a level of sophistication unknown in the West. A crossbow bolt can pierce any armor of the period. Unlike bows, crossbows require minimal training. A peasant with 2 weeks of practice can kill a knight who trained for years. The crossbow is so effective that when it reaches Europe around 1000 CE, the Pope tries to ban it as too inhumane. The ban fails. The most revolutionary weapon in history appears in China around 850 CE, gunpowder. Chinese alchemists searching for immortality elixirs accidentally create the first explosive. By 904 CE, Chinese military engineers are using gunpowder in warfare. By 1000 CE, the first true bombs appear, cast iron shells filled with gunpowder and shrapnel. Around 1260, in China, someone creates a tube strong enough to contain a gunpowder explosion and direct all its force behind a single projectile. The first true gun is born. These hand cannons can penetrate any armor of the period. A peasant with a hand cannon can kill an armored knight from a safe distance. The age of the mounted warrior elite is beginning to end. The Mongols, who conquer half the known world between 1206 and 1368, use a devastating combination of composite bows and early gunpowder weapons. Mongol forces use gunpowder bombs to terrorize defenders during sieges. An estimated 40 million people die during the Mongol conquests, roughly 10% of the world's population. By 1350, guns reach Europe. The siege of Constantinople in 1453 demonstrates the power of gunpowder artillery. Mehmed II's Ottoman forces deploy the basilica, a massive bronze cannon that fires 600-pound stone balls. The walls of Constantinople, which had withstood 23 sieges over 1,000 years, fall in 53 days. The Byzantine Empire ends. The medieval age of castles ends with it. The arquebus appears in Spain around 1450, the first truly portable firearm. By 1500, arquebusiers dominate European battlefields. At the Battle of Pavia in 1525, Spanish arquebusiers slaughter French heavy cavalry and capture the French king. Armor becomes obsolete. The musket, introduced around 1540, increases power and range. These smoothbore weapons fire a .75 caliber lead ball with enough force to shatter bone. Accuracy is terrible, maybe 50 meters, but massed musket volleys don't need accuracy. A line of 100 musketeers firing together creates a wall of lead that nothing can survive. This brutal system will dominate warfare for 300 years. The flintlock mechanism, perfected around 1630, makes firearms faster and more reliable. The bayonet, invented around 1647, transforms the musket into a pike when needed. By 1700, every major army has abandoned pikes entirely. The rifle, with its spiral grooves that spin the bullet, exists since the 1500s, but remains rare due to slow loading. That changes with the Minié ball, invented in 1847. Range increases from 50 meters to 400 meters. The American Civil War, from 1861 to 1865, becomes history's first truly modern war. The deadliest war in American history kills 620,000 people. The Gatling gun, patented in 1861, introduces the first practical machine gun. Multiple rotating barrels fire 200 rounds per minute. At the Battle of Omdurman in 1898, British forces with Maxim machine guns killed 10,000 Sudanese warriors while losing only 47 men. The Maxim gun, invented in 1884 by Hiram Maxim, becomes the first fully automatic weapon, firing 600 rounds per minute continuously. World War I proves the devastating effectiveness of machine guns. Between 1914 and 1918, machine guns and artillery killed 10 million soldiers and wound 20 million more. The Somme offensive in 1916 sees 20,000 British soldiers killed on the first day, most cut down by machine guns. The tank, introduced by Britain in 1916, finally provides an answer to machine guns and barbed wire. These armoured vehicles can cross trenches and withstand small arms fire. At the Battle of Cambrai in 1917, 476 British tanks break through German lines that had been static for 3 years. August 6, 1945, marks the atomic age. The B-29 bomber Enola Gay drops Little Boy on Hiroshima. The explosion releases energy equivalent to 15,000 tons of TNT. In an instant, 70,000 people vanish. By the end of 1945, the death toll reaches 140,000. 3 days later, Fat Man destroys Nagasaki, killing another 70,000. World War II ends, having killed 70 to 85 million people, roughly 3% of the entire world population. The nuclear arms race accelerates. In 1952, the United States tests Ivy Mike, the first hydrogen bomb, 700 times more powerful than Little Boy. The Soviet Union responds with Tsar Bomber in 1961. At 50 megatons, it remains the most powerful weapon ever created. If detonated over New York City, it would kill 8 million people instantly. The 1960s see the perfection of intercontinental ballistic missiles. These rockets can deliver nuclear warheads to any point on Earth in 30 minutes. By 1967, both the United States and the Soviet Union possess enough nuclear weapons to destroy civilization multiple times over. Mutually assured destruction keeps an uneasy peace. Precision-guided munitions emerge during Vietnam. The laser-guided bomb can hit within 10 feet from 20,000 feet. The Gulf War in 1991 showcases the revolution. Tomahawk cruise missiles fly through specific windows from 700 miles away. The AK-47, designed by Mikhail Kalashnikov in 1947, becomes history's most produced weapon. Over 100 million exist by 2024. The design functions after being buried in mud, frozen in ice, or baked in desert sand. Drones revolutionize 21st century warfare. The MQ-1 Predator allows operators to observe and strike targets from 7,000 miles away. Between 2004 and 2024, drone strikes kill an estimated 14,000 people. Hypersonic weapons fly at Mach 5 or faster, while maneuvering unpredictably. Russia's Kinzhal can strike targets 2,000 kilometers away in minutes. These weapons hit faster than defenders can react. Artificial intelligence is transforming warfare. Autonomous weapon systems can identify and engage targets without human intervention. AI-controlled swarms of hundreds of drones coordinate attacks, overwhelming defenses through sheer numbers. Cyber weapons represent warfare's newest domain. The Stuxnet virus destroyed Iranian nuclear centrifuges without firing a shot. Modern militaries treat cyberspace as a battlefield equal to land, sea, air, and space. And there you have it. 2 million years of weapons evolution, from the first chipped stone to AI-controlled autonomous systems. We've progressed from clubs requiring face-to-face combat to hypersonic missiles that strike continents away. The pace keeps accelerating. If you want to see how warfare itself evolved, check out our video on military tactics. Thanks for watching.